Hi, I'm Phoenix City Councilman Kevin Robinson, representing District 6. Today we're at one of the many Phoenix City libraries at the Century branch. So we're going to have an opportunity to take a tour, but first we're going to speak to Alexandra Bracken, a District 6 resident and an author, and talk to her a little bit about her works and how she got into writing. Well, Alexandra, first of all, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here chatting with you.
Well, good, thanks. And you know, to me, it's fascinating. I want you to tell us a little bit about how you got into writing. You know, what your works are about. It's just to me, I'm just fascinated simply because I don't have that whatever it is that it takes to be a writer. So can you tell us how you got into it and what your works are about?
So my earliest memory of writing was when I was in 3rd grade. I had a wonderful teacher who introduced us to creative writing by having us write these little short stories. And at that point in my life, I was already such a big reader. And we would write these little stories and illustrate them, and she would bind them with cardboard and like contact paper to make them look like real books. And from that moment on, I was hooked, and I was obsessed with telling stories and reading. And I think some part of me, even as a kid, thought that if reading is this much fun, then writing these stories would also be this much fun. And so from a really, really, really young age, I knew that this was my life path. This was exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And in terms of like what my books are about, so our dad was a Star Wars collector and he loved fantasy and science fiction. So I really grew up with a very healthy dose of fantasy and imaginary worlds, and so a lot of my books now skew that way. I love just exploring very human topics, but you know, giving teenagers superpowers or having them be able to time travel. It's just so much fun to write.
So tell me, does it just come to you maybe in the middle of the night, you wake up and there's an idea? You know, how do you develop that?
You know, that's such an interesting question. And kind of to your point earlier, I think everybody has creativity inside of them. It just manifests differently for everyone. And this happens to be how mine manifests. But, you know, there are designers, there are artists, even people who are really good at just arranging displays. That's a form of creativity too, right? And so in terms of like getting ideas, it comes from everywhere. It comes from, you know, reading fairy tales, or it comes just kind of out of the blue, the divine inspiration from the muses, or it comes from dreams or a conversation I've had with a friend. So really kind of all over the place. It's wonderful and kind of chaotic, kind of.
Okay, now could you walk us through the writing process? Do you just sit down and start pounding away at the computer, or does it take, I mean, you know, help us understand that.
Yeah, so my writing process is a lot of brainstorming, which I think is my favorite part of the story or just part of the writing process, because you really get to live in that world and you're meeting the characters for the first time and you're figuring out kind of what makes them tick and what the central conflict's gonna be and all of the twists and turns. It's just like a really, really fun part of that process. But, you know, so I brainstorm maybe for weeks or months, and then I sit down and I just start writing. And I tend to plot out my books. I'm called a headlights plotter, so I plot out just enough to know what I'm going to be working on the next day.
Okay.
Some authors, I really admire them, are so good at plotting their books out from the very beginning. They know everything that's going to happen, but I kind of like having a little leeway, a little room to explore what these characters are going to do as I'm writing the book, because sometimes the characters surprise me.
Okay, well, I know one of your books, Lore, is going to be made in a movie.
Yeah.
What's going on there, and how did that come to be?
So Lore is a book that I pitch for all the readers out there as being sort of like Percy Jackson meets the Hunger Games. It's a story about Greek gods in our modern day world and people who are able to hunt and potentially hunt these gods and steal their power and immortality. So it's a very action-packed book. With lots of twists and turns. It was so much fun to write. And so as I was writing it, I was thinking, oh, this would be such a fun movie to watch. It would just be like a ton of action, and I would love to see this on screen one day. And so I was really excited when I had a couple of movie production companies that were interested in optioning it. So it's currently under option with Universal. and with Pascal Pictures, and they are working on the script as far as I know. So fingers crossed, we'll see.
Well, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That is wonderful. Well, you've written a number of books. Can you tell me, do you have a favorite?
Oh, that's a tough question. It's like picking a favorite child because I love them all in different ways. I really love the book that I wrote most recently, which is Silver in the Bone. It is a kind of Arthurian-inspired contemporary fantasy book, and it, again, has lots of twists and turns. That's my favorite part of writing any book, is figuring out a way to kind of like shock the reader and keep them reading, keep them turning the pages. But I also really love lore because I had wanted to write something with Greek mythology for a really long time, and I finally got to.
That's great. Now, are your books published in different languages around the world? You know,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, they're published in, oh gosh, over 20 languages at this point. So they're available pretty much all around the world, which is incredible. And I get to travel sometimes and do international tours and meet readers abroad. And even though there's sometimes a language barrier, it's amazing to be able to connect with these readers over characters and a shared love of story, and just, you know, get to meet them when I otherwise wouldn't. So yeah, it shocks me every time there's an international publisher who wants to translate and publish the work abroad.
Oh, that's great. And I got to tell you, I love to read, but I'm a biography, autobiography kind of person. Your books all sound terrific, but you write for a specific audience.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I write for teens and for middle schoolers for the most part, although I like to think my books can be enjoyed by adults who love fantasy and science fiction as well. And the young adult audience, teens are some of the most passionate, but also kind of like ruthless with their criticism readers. So they're so fun to write for, because when you are able to kind of capture their imagination, you just feel that energy and love coming back to you as the writer. And it's just amazing to see, and you know, to stay in touch with some of these readers. You know, I've known some readers since they were, you know, freshmen in high school, and now they're getting married. Like, they just sort of, it's amazing that I've been able to form these relationships and these bonds with that audience, and I've been able to actually like watch them grow up and, you know, become adults themselves, and to have been part of that journey is just really touching and humbling.
Well, that's great. I think one of the best things we can do with our lives is to do something we truly enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And clearly, that is something you're able to do.
Yes, I'm so lucky. It's such an amazing career to have.
So, well, Alexandra, thank you very much. Really appreciate you taking the time to help enlighten us about what it is that you do, how you do it, the process you go through. I find it fascinating, and as I was mentioning, I was doing my research and just reading about you and watching some of your interviews. It's been fascinating. I know there's going to be a lot there, and I'm going to break my normal rule, and I will grab one of your books.
Okay.
I will read it, and I will let you know what I think about it, but I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
I look forward to it. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to talk with Jill Harrell, the branch manager here at Century Library, and she's going to explain, not just give us a tour of the library, but she's going to explain the summer programs they have available this year. We're here with Century branch manager Jill Harrell. Jill, thank you for having us to begin with, and it's a pleasure meeting you. Can you tell us the history of the Century Branch Library?
Yes, of course. Welcome to the Century Branch. It was built in 1973. We just celebrated our half-century mark in December,
Congratulations,
so
that's
we're
great.
halfway to earning our name. And we like this small library. It is the smallest but the mightiest library in the Phoenix Public Library system.
Well, it's centrally located, obviously, and I think I told you the story about how I studied when I was with the police department, studying for the sergeant's exam, because this is closest to where I live, just a few blocks away. So this library has, you know, been in my DNA for a very long time, so it's a great place. So that having been said, tell us a little bit about, you have summer programs coming up. Can you tell us what programs you have offered or you have available for this summer?
Right, every summer we have big programs come through here. We have a African drumming troupe coming to do a story for the kids. We have art classes, we have teen programs, and even things for the adults to do during the summer. So we're hoping people think of the Century Library and come visit us during the summer.
Okay, well, I know you want to give us a little bit of a tour of the facility, so why don't we go ahead and get started.
you're in the children's department. We have beginning readers, we have graphic novels, chapter books, and nonfiction books. You can get a book on any topic that you can think of. And if you go this way, we have a separate area for the teens. Computers here, and then we have a display in the middle of the library with popular books. And as you walk this way, I wanted to point out that we have the Culture Pass program, that if you're looking for activities to do free with your family, you can come in and get a free library card and check out a Culture Pass, and there's 20 different venues. There are arts centers, there's museums and parks that you can go to. You just check it out and you have a full week to get 2 people into the venue free. So I would encourage you to try out the different places across the valley to visit.
That's a great way to save money and to learn more about what's going on in the valley. So that's a great program.
Right. And if you're looking for activities to do, maybe you want to take up gardening. On the other side, if you come with me this way, we have the seed library right here. You can come in and use your library card to check out 3 seed packets every 3 weeks. So you might try some gardening and see if you like that. Also, with your books, you can get the seeds.
Well, there you go. Our libraries have everything that you need. You know, everything from, I notice there's CDs, there's DVDs, there's audiobooks. You have a little bit of everything.
You're right, we do. We even have hotspots for the public to check out. So with your library card, you can come in and place a hold to get a hotspot, and you get it for 3 full weeks. So it's a very popular service. So you'll need to place a hold on it, but you'll get a notification in your email when it's ready for you to pick up.
So it allows people to have the internet wherever they happen to be.
Right.
Well, that's great.
Popular service.
Okay, and I know there's some summer programs. I know you want to talk about that.
Right. I was going to take you over to the middle of the library. I'm going to talk about the summer reading game, which is hugely popular. So over here by our displays, I have a banner over here announcing our adventure begins at your library. We have an adventure theme this summer, and we're trying to get everybody in the family from babies all the way up to adults involved in our summer reading program. And what you do is you get a game board and you read for every 20 minutes. You fill in each square, and then you come in and we give you prizes. So we give you like pizza coupons, state park pass. You get free books at the beginning, middle, and end of the program. And all reading counts, even being read to counts as reading. So at the end of it, you get your name put into the grand prize drawing. So we're giving away Harkins movie tickets and Child's Play theater tickets, including Squishmallows.
Which is very popular these days.
Very popular.
And I see we have it both in English and in Spanish.
Correct. So I'm encouraging everyone to come and get a game board if they need one, or you can just go online to MaricopaCountyReads.org for the game, or you can just go to PhoenixPublicLibrary.org to our website and click on summer reading and get information that way as well. I would also encourage you to click on the calendar link on our website so you can see all the different activities we have for all ages.
And it starts June 1st and goes through August 1st, so it's a great summertime activity. Great way to encourage young readers to do just that, read.
Yes.
Jill, thank you very much. You have, it's a hidden gem in the middle of District 6. We really appreciate what you and your entire staff do. It's incredible. Thank you. It's wonderful talking with you and getting the tour, and really appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you for coming, and I hope you come and visit. Again, I have a very friendly staff, and if you have any questions whatsoever, come visit us this summer.
We will. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I want to thank both of our guests today, local author Alexandra Bracken and Century Branch Library Manager Harrell. Did a wonderful job showing us around, talking about a variety of things. We have some great opportunities here at the library. I want folks to take advantage of that. Until the next time, thank you very much. On location with District 6, we'll see you at the next time.